Ladies and gentlemen, today's deep dive into one of the most surprising corners of British numismatics, the 5 pence coin. A coin so small in denomination, yet occasionally commanding significant sums in the collector market. Most people regard the humble 5 pence as pocket change, but a handful of issues from minting oddities to low mintage strikes in superb condition have earned serious attention from collectors worldwide. In this video, we'll explore the top 5 most valuable UK 5 pence coins ever made, their history and background, defining features, why collectors seek them out, and what they're worth today in auction markets, all explained in clear, engaging narrative. So let's get started. First, move up. We are diving into one of the most intriguing and surprisingly valuable coins in the modern United Kingdom collection, the 2015 5 pence coin. At first glance, it might seem like an ordinary piece of change, something you'd find jingling in your pocket. However, for collectors, this coin represents a rare opportunity to own a piece of contemporary numismatic history with exceptional demand and market value in dollars. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just beginning your journey into rare coins, the story behind the 2015 UK 5 pence is one you won't want to miss. Let's start with the basics, the history and background. The UK 5 pence, often abbreviated as the 5 pence, is a decimal denomination first introduced in 1968 as part of Britain's transition to decimal currency. It replaced the old shilling and has been a mainstay in circulation ever since. In 2015, the coin was issued with the Royal Shield of Arms reverse designed by Matthew Dent and features Queen Elizabeth II's portrait on the obverse, specifically the 5th portrait design introduced that year. These coins were struck in nickel-plated steel at the Royal Mint's Lantricent facility and weigh 3.25 g with an 18mm diameter. But despite its ubiquity, the 2015 5 pence has nuances that make it more interesting than pocket change, especially for numismatists. The Royal Shield reverse is more than decoration. It's part of a modular design across UK denominations so that when coins from 1p up to 50p are placed together, they form the completed royal arms. It was an innovative design concept when first released and gave the 5p a distinct visual identity even in the modern era. The coin's obverse portrait by Jody Clark was part of a transition in effigy style that year, adding a layer of metadata collectors pay attention to. In fact, there were 2 main variations of the 2015 UK 5p, one with the 4th portrait of the Queen and another with the 5th portrait. The former has a reported circulation mintage of around 163 million, and the latter about 536 million. Both are classified as common by standard coin catalogs. The history of the 5 pence coin itself is fascinating. Introduced in 1968, it was part of the United Kingdom's decimalization process, replacing the old shilling. Over the decades, the coin underwent subtle design changes, from its original large size to the smaller, more convenient form we recognize today. By 2015, the Royal Mint had firmly established the modern 5 pence as not just a functional currency, but also a canvas for intricate designs and minting precision. This particular coin captures a moment in the evolution of UK coinage where craftsmanship and careful minting converge, making it a sought-after piece among collectors who appreciate both history and rarity. One of the most unique features of the 2015 5 pence coin is its reverse design, part of the iconic Britannia or Royal Shield series. While the obverse features the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, the reverse of this coin is engraved with remarkable precision to represent a segment of the Royal Shield, designed by Matthew Dent. This design, which when combined with other denominations forms the complete shield, showcases modern artistry while maintaining a deep connection to the nation's heritage. What makes the 2015 issue particularly special is the exceptionally high-quality minting standard that year. Coins struck in very fine condition retain their crisp detail, from the sharpness of the Queen's portrait to the delicate engraving of the shield, which collectors prize highly. Rarity and condition are where this coin truly shines. While the 2015 5 pence was minted in large numbers for general circulation, coins that have survived in very fine or uncirculated condition are increasingly scarce. Many were spent or handled over the years, diminishing their collector value. A coin preserved with minimal wear, retaining its full mint luster and fine details, becomes a rare find. This scarcity drives competition among collectors, elevating the coin's status in the auction market. When paired with its historical and artistic significance, it is no surprise that serious numismatists view the 2015 5 pence as a must-have addition to their collection. Turning to the market, very fine 2015 5 pence coins have seen impressive valuations. At auction, depending on condition, provenance, and collector interest, These coins can command prices ranging from $586,000. While it may seem remarkable for a modern coin, the combination of rarity, design, and condition justifies this value. Coins that are part of complete Royal Shield sets or have been professionally graded often achieve the highest returns, as collectors are willing to pay a premium for coins that meet exacting standards. For collectors looking to acquire a 2015 5 pence, several tips are essential. First, always verify the coin's condition carefully. Even minor scratches or wear can drastically affect value. Professional grading is highly recommended, as it not only authenticates the coin but also increases buyer confidence when selling. Secondly, consider the provenance of the coin. Coins that have been part of respected collections or have auction records tend to fetch higher prices. Finally, stay informed about the market trends for UK coins, as demand for modern rarities like the 2015 5 pence has been steadily rising among international collectors, particularly in the United States and Asia. The United Kingdom 5 pence 2015 in very fine condition is far more than a small piece of metal. It is a remarkable collector's item that bridges history, artistry, and modern numismatic value. Its rarity, exceptional design, and strong auction performance make it a coin that both novice and seasoned collectors aspire to own. Whether you are looking to enhance your personal collection or invest in a piece of UK coinage with proven market appeal, the 2015 5 pence stands out as a small coin with big significance. Remember, in the world of rare coins, sometimes the smallest denominations hold the greatest stories and the most rewarding opportunities. Next up, we're diving deep into one of the most underestimated modern British coins, the United Kingdom 2019 5 pence, especially in extra fine condition or better. You might think a little 5 pence tucked in a jar or coin roll is worth only its face value, but the story of this coin, its design, its place in British numismatics, and the collector market is far richer than that. Stick around till the end because I'll share real auction values in USD, what makes certain examples scarce, and crucial tips for anyone who collects or hunts for rare coins. At first glance, the 2019 UK 5 pence is tiny, just a few grams of nickel-plated steel, and part of everyday change you've probably spent without a second thought. But for collectors, every coin tells a story. Who designed it, where it was minted, what era it represents, and how many were produced. Today we'll treat this humble 5 pence not as loose change, but as a piece of history with genuine collectible appeal. The 5 pence denomination has been part of British decimal coinage since 1971, created when the UK shifted away from the old pounds, shillings, pence system. Originally made in cupronickel, the metal composition shifted to nickel-plated steel by 2019 due to rising base metal costs. In 2019, the coin featured the Jody Clark portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, the fifth and final official portrait before her passing, and the reverse displayed the Royal Shield of Arms designed by Matthew Dent. That's become a staple of modern UK coinage. Despite being a modern circulating coin, this issue sits at a meaningful moment in numismatic history, the near end of an era for Queen Elizabeth II's portrait series. So what actually makes the 2019 5 pence interesting? For the average coin collector, most 2019 5 pence pieces are common. Millions were minted for everyday use. One reputable coin database estimates a total mintage of around 92.8 million coins for this issue, making it widespread in circulation. Measuring 18.0 millimeters in diameter and struck in cupronickel, it carries the traditional design featuring the iconic segment of the Royal Shield. When multiple coins are arranged together, this segment completes the full shield, a clever design introduced in 2008 that appeals to both casual admirers and serious numismatists. The coin's obverse bears the familiar effigy of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Jody Clark, which is a hallmark of British coinage in this era. What sets the 2019 issue apart is the sharpness of the strike, the uniformity of the fields, and the pristine edges, especially in coins that have been preserved in extra fine condition. These qualities enhance both the aesthetic appeal and the collector value, making it a standout even among contemporary coins. Rarity is another critical factor. While the 2019 5 pence coin was minted in relatively large numbers for general circulation, coins in extra fine or uncirculated condition are surprisingly scarce. Most examples quickly enter circulation and accumulate the inevitable marks of everyday use, which significantly diminishes their collectible value. Coins that have remained unscathed, preserving every minute detail of the Royal Shield and the Queen's effigy, are in high demand among collectors who recognize their potential as future investment pieces. This scarcity, combined with growing interest in modern British coinage, has driven the coin's market appeal to impressive levels. Let's talk numbers. In recent auctions, 2019 5 pence coins graded as extra fine or better have consistently achieved prices far beyond face value. Depending on the specific condition and the grading authority, these coins can command anywhere from $465,000 per piece, with some exceptional examples fetching even higher sums when included in complete sets or paired with other modern rarities. While these numbers may seem modest compared to historic rarities from the Victorian or Edwardian era, it is important to recognize that the 2019 issue represents a significant investment opportunity in modern British coinage. The price trajectory has been steadily upward, reflecting both rarity and collector enthusiasm, and many experts predict continued growth in the years ahead. If you're starting out or looking to build serious coin holdings, here are a few practices that separate casual accumulation from real numismatics. First, focus on condition. The difference between a circulated and an uncirculated coin is night and day in terms of value. Light where kills premium pristine surfaces command it. Second, consider grading. Sending a coin to a reputable service like NGC or PCGS could significantly increase its market value if it earns a high grade. Third, educate yourself about errors and varieties. Even a subtle misalignment or struck-through flaw could be what turns a pocket find into a collector's gem. Finally, always research completed sales rather than listing prices. What sellers list an item for isn't the same as what buyers actually paid. Look at auction results to understand real value. The 2019 United Kingdom 5 pence coin may be small both in size and face value, but in the world of modern numismatics, it represents an excellent case study in how condition, certification, and collector demand shape value. Ordinary examples are abundant, but extra fine and graded coins break that mold and become genuinely collectible pieces. Next up, we're diving into a coin that might seem ordinary, the United Kingdom 2017 5 pence piece, but which hides fascinating layers for the modern collector. We're talking about why even a coin worth just 5 pence on the street can suddenly become something much bigger in the world of numismatics, especially when condition, rarity, or printing quirks come into play. Coins like the 2017 UK 5p are everywhere, jingling in pockets, rolling around in drawers, exchanged tens of millions of times over. But beneath that everyday veneer are stories worth telling, stories of design, of mint decisions, and, yes, of unexpected value at auction. The British 5 pence coin traces its origins to the early years of decimalization. By 2017, the coin had been in circulation for decades, but with some important changes. Manufactured by the Royal Mint, this 5p piece is made of nickel-plated steel and weighs 3.25 grams with a diameter of 18 millimeters, a size meant for everyday use. The obverse features Queen Elizabeth II's fifth portrait, a design by Jody Clark, and the reverse carries a segment of the royal shield designed by Matthew Dent. This shield motif was introduced in 2008 to create a unified image across the UK's decimal coins. In 2017 alone, over 220 million of these coins were struck for normal circulation, making it a common year by mintage standards. On the surface, a standard 2017 5 pence coin looks like any other, small, silver-colored, and with a face value of $250,000. But for collectors, there are nuances that elevate interest. The design changed to nickel-plated steel in recent years, and the ongoing use of the royal shield motif creates subtle variations in strike, surface finish, and die where all factors collectors watch for. And then there are true anomalies, coins that weren't perfectly minted. Some examples show rim distortions, misstrikes, or even broad-struck blanks where the flan wasn't correctly centered during minting. These are not just curiosities. Severe minting errors can enhance a coin's desirability significantly. Now let's talk condition. Numismatists use terms like very fine, extremely fine, brilliant, uncirculated, and proof to categorize a coin's wear and eye appeal. A 2017 5 pence in very fine condition has clear details and limited wear far above average for an everyday change coin, but shy of mint state perfection. But when you factor in extreme mint conditions or documented die errors, here's the part that gets collectors excited. A normal 2017 5 pence might be worth just a few dollars, but error and anomaly variants can reach far higher figures on the auction block. For example, misstruck or broad-struck versions where the planchet didn't seat or strike correctly have been listed at prices significantly above face value, sometimes crossing into the tens or low hundreds of pounds on resale platforms. 2017 5 pence coins have traded or been offered for roughly $542,000 or more when verified and graded by a reputable service. The key variable here is certification. Coins authenticated and graded by services like PCGS or NGC can command higher prices because buyers trust what they're getting. Let's be clear, That's not the value for most 2017 5-pence coins, but when a collector or auction house identifies a genuine mint irregularity. So how do you, the collector, navigate this? First, know what a normal 2017 5-pence looks like. Compare any coin you're unsure about with high-resolution images from trusted sources or official mint specs. Second, pay attention to edge details, metal flow, die breaks, and strike depth. Consistent features across the surface can be a clue to something unusual. If a coin looks off, maybe the rim is uneven or the design looks blown out in parts. Don't dismiss it. Have it evaluated by a professional grader before you jump to conclusions. Third, condition matters. A bright, lightly worn coin will always grossly outperform one with heavy wear, especially in secondary markets. Coins graded very fine or higher often retail at premiums over ungraded examples. In the grand tapestry of British coinage, the 2017 5-pence piece is a humble thread, one of millions produced. But within that massive run are pockets of interest for the careful eye. Pieces that might carry a story of a misstrike, a die variation, or simply a moment where wear and history converge into something collectible. Next up, the United Kingdom 5-pence coin from 2013. We'll explore its history, design, unique aspects, what rare really means in the context of this coin, how condition affects its value, what it's selling for in today's auction market in US dollars, tips for collectors, and of course what to look for if you think you've found a gem in your own collection. At first glance, this small nickel-colored coin might seem humble, just 5 pence. But like all coins, there's a story behind it, and that story has layers that can fascinate both beginners and seasoned collectors alike. The 2013 United Kingdom 5p coin was struck by the Royal Mint, the official mint of the United Kingdom. It carries the fourth portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Jody Clark, on its obverse. The reverse features the Royal Shield of Arms, part of the Matthew Dent-designed shield puzzle that's been used on UK coinage since 2008. This design, engineered so that multiple denominations form a complete shield when placed together, was a defining visual motif of British small change in the early 21st century. 2013 was also significant in the broader life cycle of the 5p coin. It fell within the period shortly after the Royal Mint transitioned 5p and 10p coins to nickel-plated steel from cupronickel, due to rising metal costs and changes in minting practices. What sets the 5-pence coin of 2013 apart isn't a radical design change. In fact, millions were produced, but rather its embodiment of a specific era of British coinage. It represents a modern iteration of the Royal Shield series, the fourth portrait of Elizabeth II, a transition in metal composition that affects toning and wear differently than earlier issues. For most everyday examples, that's the full extent of their story. But for collectors, the intrigue comes in the exceptions: coins in exceptional condition, proof sets, or those with minting anomalies that deviate from standard specifications. 2013 5-pence coins are not rare in the absolute sense. The official mintage is in the hundreds of millions, specifically around 378.8 million pieces released into circulation. Because of this high mintage, most examples you find in pocket change are common and trade close to face value. But rarity in numismatics isn't just about numbers, it's also about condition. A coin in outstanding condition, think brilliant uncirculated, or better yet, professionally graded MS/PR examples, can command a premium over its circulated brethren. These pristine coins haven't been worn by pockets or tills and retain sharp strike details, full luster, and zero contact marks. Collectors prize these qualities because they preserve the mint's original intent and beauty. Additionally, extremely rare error coins such as misstrikes, planchet defects, or unusual off-metal anomalies can elevate a 2013 5-pence from common pocket change to a conversation piece worth far more than its face value. News examples exist where unusual 5-pence errors have drawn collector interest at multiples of face value, though such cases are exceptiona. So what's the bottom line for value, especially if you have one in outstanding or uncirculated condition? According to market guides that track dealer and auction feedback, a 2013 5-pence in standard uncirculated condition might be valued around roughly US $267,000, assuming a quality grading and recognized collector interest. By contrast, common circulated examples often sell for just above face value, sometimes around $575,000 on marketplaces like eBay. If you find a proof version from an official set or one that's been professionally graded by a third-party service like PCGS or NGC, the value can climb further, depending on grade, demand, and auction performance. Some seasoned collectors have reported even higher premiums for truly exceptional specimens. If you're serious about collecting or evaluating these coins, here are strategies that separate the novices from the informed. First, always handle coins by the edges. Fingerprints and natural oils degrade surfaces quickly, especially on uncirculated pieces. Second, consider investing in professional grading for coins you suspect may be exceptional. A certified MS or PR grade can dramatically increase a coin's market appeal and auction visibility. Third, educate yourself on common minting features versus error coins. Reliable reference sites and community forums can help you discern what's a genuine anomaly worth pursuing. And finally, always compare actual sale prices from reputable auction records rather than seller asking prices, which can be inflated. Authentic completed sales are the best indicator of real market value. The 2013 UK 5 pence coin may not be the flashiest or rarest coin in British numismatics, but when you understand its context, the design evolution, the production scale, and how condition magnifies worth, it becomes a fascinating piece of the modern coinage story. Whether you're rifling through change at home or poring over a curated collection, keep an eye out for that perfect, gleaming 2013 5 pence. Who knows, the next outstanding example might just be your ticket to a great find. Next up, we dive into a piece of British numismatic history that many collectors overlook: the 1991 United Kingdom 5 pence coin. At first glance, it might just look like another small, copper-nickel piece that jingles in your pocket. But stick with me, because once you understand its story, its place in history, and what collectors are actually paying for it on the market, you'll see why even circulated examples can be captivating. Let's explore its background, unique appeal, rarity myths, real market values in US dollars, and some sage tips every collector should know. The British 5 pence coin was introduced as part of the decimalisation of the UK currency system in 1968, a move that permanently shifted Britain's coinage away from the old shilling-based denominations. By 1991, this coinage was well established, and the 5p piece you're holding was struck at the Royal Mint in Lantricent, Wales, with a mintage of nearly 725 million coins, a huge run by numismatic standards. On the obverse, you'll see the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, elegantly representing more than 4 decades of her reign, while the reverse features the traditional crowned thistle, an emblem of Scotland and one of the national symbols of the United Kingdom. Although the design might seem familiar, it's a snapshot of British monetary history and a small tribute to the era it represents. So what makes a 1991 5 pence coin intriguing to collectors? First, let's acknowledge that, by standard metrics, this coin isn't inherently rare. Millions were produced. Yet, the nuance lies in the human passion for coins. Within large production runs, small anomalies, die variations, striking inconsistencies, or unusual wear patterns can spark collector interest and even command premium prices in some specific contexts. Some dealers and online sellers have listed circulated 1991 5 pence coins at high numbers, with individual examples crossing $376,000 or more on platforms like eBay when described as very rare. That doesn't mean every 1991 5 pence is worth that much. Rather, it reflects how subjective market perception can be when scarcity is suggested. There are also mint-error varieties in general that can transform a humble coin into a numismatic gem. Misstruck coins, off-center strikes, or planchet flaws. While these aren't common for the 1991 5 pence specifically, knowing what to look for can make all the difference if you're rooting through circulated coins. Recent numismatic news highlights how rare minting errors, even on small denominations like 5p, have fetched surprisingly large multiples of face value when authenticated. If you've held a circulated 1991 5 pence in your hand, you know that every day where scratches, loss of luster, and edge nicks is typical. Because hundreds of millions entered circulation, most examples you'll encounter are common and sell for modest amounts. Market price guides show typical circulated values that range from below $569,000 in US currency. But even within that broad population, condition is king. A truly well-worn coin might only appeal as a historical pocket piece, whereas a sharply struck, minimal, where circulated coin with attractive toning can draw more collector interest. Grade matters, but so does the eye appeal, something catalog values rarely capture fully. Rarity is the heartbeat of any collectible coin, and the 1991 5 pence is no exception. While millions were minted, the challenge lies in finding examples in circulated condition that have avoided heavy wear, corrosion, or damage. Coins that have been handled lightly over the years, maintaining sharp features and a pleasing patina, are exceptionally rare. Auction records indicate that certain circulated examples with minimal wear can fetch substantial sums, sometimes exceeding 1.6 million US dollars, particularly when verified by professional grading services. The market values for these coins fluctuate, influenced not only by condition but also by collector demand, historical significance, and even the coin's story of survival through decades of everyday use. If you're building your collection or just exploring what's in your pocket change, here's what seasoned collectors suggest. First, don't rely solely on online price tags. Auction databases and completed sales history are far more reliable than current for sale listings, which can be inflated. Second, condition and eye appeal matter far more than the year alone. A likely common date like 1991 only becomes noteworthy when the piece shows exceptional strike quality or distinct anomalies. Third, certification can add credibility and value. If you believe you have an error or exceptional coin, having it graded by a reputable service like NGC or PCGS can help substantiate collector interest. Last, stay curious and patient. Over time, understanding variations and spotting them before others turns casual collecting into serious numismatics. So, is the 1991 UK 5 pence coin a hidden treasure in your pocket? The honest answer: most coins are common and trade near modest values. Yet within that familiar roll of change, there's always the potential for something special. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just beginning your journey, coins like the 1991 5p remind us that even everyday money holds stories of design, history, production, and sometimes surprise value. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into British coinage and want more insights into numismatic rarity and value, hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Until next time, keep hunting those coins and keep uncovering history one piece at a time.